Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Continuing with the teaching of Madhuvidya or honey of life by Sri Atharvana Rishi to his disciples Ashwini Devata. Yesterday we discussed how Brahman, whose nature is pure consciousness, awareness, appeared as living beings and non-living beings and entered into them. So now going further, says Rupam Rupam Pratirupo Bhaguva. Not only the forms manifested, he or the Brahman, which is nothing but pure consciousness, awareness, entered into all of them. Okay, entered into all of them to such an extent that, for example, your form is created. From head to nail, from hair to nail, every aspect of you is pervaded by that universal consciousness, Brahman. Okay, so we use the two different words here. When we speak of Parabrahma or supreme reality, where there's no duality at all, we use the word awareness. Okay, and when that awareness manifests as in the universe, the same awareness we call as universal consciousness, the consciousness word and awareness word. Even though both mean same thing, for the purpose of reducing confusion, when I am referring what? When I am referring to Parabrahma or absolute reality, I use the word awareness. When I use the word relative reality, where the same absolute reality is manifesting as the world, I use it as the universal consciousness. Okay. The consciousness only is the word. But consciousness, when I use the word, refer to it as absolute reality, where there's no duality at all, then I call it as awareness. When there is a duality, when there is a manifestation, then I call it as consciousness. Just to distinguish two terms. Parabrahma is awareness.
And existence also you are using this.
Existence, consciousness, and bliss, they cannot be separated out. They're one name for, there are three names for the same reality. Okay. So I may use Parabrahma as absolute reality, or I may use Parabrahma as awareness, or I may use the word pure consciousness for Parabrahma, or pure existence, also means same thing. Okay. When Parabrahma takes the role for the creation, then he is called Ishvara or the Lord. For Ishvara, I use the word universal consciousness. Okay. What is consciousness then? The question comes, what is consciousness? What do you mean by consciousness? How do you define consciousness? Consciousness is the knowing principle. Knowing principle. Okay. The knowing principle is called awareness. The knowing principle or tattva, awareness, is non-dual, absolute non-duality. There is no other. There is no two awareness. Okay. It's a knowing principle. So there is no second knowing principle. There is no other knowing principle. Only one knowing principle is there. And that's what you are. Okay. You are. You means, when you say you, in essence what you are. Essential nature of you is that knowing principle, which is awareness. Essential nature of you is that existence, which is awareness, which is bliss. Why we call this bliss? Because from awareness point of view, there is no other. The stress is only when the other is there, when anything else is there. So because there is no other, there is bliss. It is To use the word infinite also is meaningless there. All that I say is there's no limitation. Ananta, Ananda. There's no limitation because there's nothing else which comes in the awareness, in the absolute nature. And that's what you are. Okay? That's what your essential nature is. That I call as pure consciousness. Okay? Pure consciousness we can take a look, we can consider like water. Water. Okay? Water appears as ocean. And ocean appears as waves, collection of waves. So similarly, the pure consciousness or Parabrahma appears as universal consciousness or Ishvara, which is ocean. The ocean is nothing but a collection of waves, big wave, small wave. Similarly, Ishvara is a collection of individual living beings, non-living beings, mountain, valley, the sky, and everything. Is the analogy clear? So all are made up of the same stuff called water. Similarly, the ocean, the water, and the wave, they are made up of the same ingredient or stuff called water. Okay. So, in other words, everything in the universe is nothing but consciousness. Everything in the universe is nothing but consciousness. Okay. So, there's nothing called matter. What you see as matter, all this matter, really doesn't matter. Okay. Because it is just an appearance, temporary appearance of consciousness. It is like in your dream, you got 5 crore rupees a lottery. You saw the money and you went and purchased a ticket and you went to a foreign tour, and what all you did with that money, when you wake up, none of them is relevant. They were all temporary forms of appearance in your mind. Temporary appearance. Okay. Temporary appearance in your mind. It has no existence in reality. It is an appearance. Okay. Everything what we see in the world as matter is a temporary appearance of consciousness. Temporary appearance in consciousness and temporary appearance of consciousness. Okay. So the temporary appearance is called mithya, unreal. Anitya because it's temporary. Okay. Mithya because it's appearance, because there's no matter actually. There's only consciousness. Okay. So everything in the world is consciousness. Consciousness being a pure subject or pure knowing, the presence of the consciousness can be felt only when there's an object in that, a reflecting surface. I give an example, the outer space. In the outer space, sun is there, but you cannot see light in the deeper space because there's no reflecting surface. There's no dust particle. If you put a mirror, you can see it. They say some reflecting surface. Otherwise, it's all darkness. Similarly, consciousness without object is not, its presence cannot be felt, determined. It cannot be. And consciousness is the only reality which is there. When only reality is there, okay, you will never know. No, not you. The consciousness itself has nothing to know. Because if there's thing only, it can be known. Its presence can be felt. It's a knowing principle. But for the knowing principle, there's nothing to know. Okay. So that's why in that knowing principle called consciousness, concepts arise. Like wave and ocean arise in water, concepts arise, and everything is temporary concept, appears and disappears, appears and disappears. That I can call as thoughts or the mind. Okay, please don't get confused by the words mind, thoughts, universal consciousness. Ultimately, it is one reality only called consciousness. One reality called consciousness only. Okay, don't be enamored by the words we use. So, the absolute reality, which is awareness, which is pure or pure consciousness, pure existence, appears as the Ishvara or the Lord for the creation purpose. Okay. Why I use the word appears as? Because it's not a permanent reality. It's an appearance, temporary reality. Okay. Now, who is Ishvara? Again, we start imagining something. The Ishvara is the self-awareness. Awareness arises. When there is a thought that there's something else other than me, a concept that there's something other than me, the self-awareness comes into picture in pure conscious awareness. Awareness is only there. Okay, it's not aware of itself. When it becomes aware of something else, it becomes aware of itself. Awareness alone is. Okay. Awareness is not aware of itself because there's nothing to aware of. When the moment there is something else, it becomes aware of itself. That awareness is called Ishvara. Okay. The Ishvara is pure awareness or Parabrahma who is not even aware of presence and absence of anything. That's why he's not even self-aware. Even though his nature of awareness becomes self-aware in the presence of other things. So there is a concept, there is something else. This concept is not a reality because there's nothing, there cannot be anything else. There cannot be anything else other than Parabrahma. It's only conceptual reality, not substantial reality. Because it's a conceptual reality, it's called Maya. Maya means Yama iti Maya. So at this level, you can think it's only like a blueprint of creation, an idea. Oh, there's something. What is that something is yet to come. Okay. So if you have to recognize Ishvara, recognize that I am principle in you. That's Ishvara. Okay. You have a, I am feeling. Okay. I am feeling appears and disappears. I am feeling appears and this thought. But I am feeling is appearing in the presence of the consciousness. The I in the I am feeling is pointing to the consciousness. Am in the I am feeling is pointing to the presence or existence. Any name points to something now. When I say the book, there is pointing to a book. When you say I am, what is it pointing to? It is pointing to, I is pointing to consciousness which cannot be seen. Am is pointing to existence which cannot be seen. Okay. Because Parabrahma, as pure awareness, existence consciousness cannot be seen. It is no form. But it's pointing, it's a pointer. I am is always a pointer to a reality. Right? Now it's saying pure I am. The pure I am is called Ishvara. So the pure I am has many more concepts. Okay, it will create, keeps on creating many more forms. Right? And what is the stuff it's made up of? The forms are made up of? The basic stuff is which forms are made up of is nothing but consciousness. There's no other thing. The material is consciousness only. So pure awareness or pure consciousness has taken the form of universal consciousness. Universal consciousness has taken the form of object consciousness. So there is mountain. When I use the word mountain, it appears to be material. I have to use the right word to use is mountain consciousness. Okay. The consciousness aspect we are ignoring when we are dealing with the object. That's why it's Maya. When I see flower, the flower consciousness is there. The same universal consciousness manifests as subject consciousness and object consciousness. Subject means experiencer, which you, and object means experienced. Subject consciousness and object consciousness is manifested. So when this is a flower, there's a flower consciousness. When you see the star, there's a star consciousness. When you see the cosmos, cosmic consciousness is there. When you see the sun, sun consciousness there. Okay. So I have used the word consciousness in the relative domain, manifest domain, whereas awareness in the absolute domain. Both is ultimately awareness only. Okay, only to distinguish the domain of Maya from the domain of absolute reality. So what has happened to the awareness in this whole process? Has awareness got affected? There is no change in the awareness. The water appears as ocean and as a wave. Water appears as ocean and a wave. But nothing happens to water. Similarly, Parabrahma is never changing reality. It does not undergo any changes. So when you speak, okay, I am going, I am eating, I was in Bombay, I am in Hyderabad, I will be in America. So in that all these words, you are using the word I am. It's a word, it's a thought. The thought is pointing to something which is unchanging. Who went to America? I. Who was there 30 years back? I. Oh my dear, your eye has not changed. I see so much of changes. You were slim that time. Okay. Now you seem to be at least double size. Your body has changed. Your mind has changed. Okay. Your intellect has changed. Everything which I know about you has changed, but you say I has not changed. What do you mean by that? When you use the word I am, you are correctly using the word I am. You are pointing the eye to something which is unchanging, which you know all the time. But all the time you confuse it in the body. Are you able to understand this? The Vedanta is there only to remove the confusion which you are mixing up. The changing reality with the unchanging reality you are mixing up. Vedanta helps you only to bring the clarity about this. Vedanta doesn't do anything more than that. Every time when you are speaking of I am, you are speaking of the God's name. Unchanging reality is God, which is Parabrahma, which is not able to see. But the moment you speak that, you mix it up with the body. Okay? Which is mind, which is changing, body and mind. Right? The I am is always the pure subjectivity. I'm not speaking of I am thought. I am thought appears and disappears. I am word appears and disappears. But I am thought, I am word is point to something which is reality, which doesn't change. Right? So everything in the world is consciousness. There's a subject consciousness, object consciousness. Everything is appearance in consciousness. Okay. So there are two aspects of appearance in consciousness. One is changing aspect and another is unchanging aspect. Okay. What is this changing aspect of consciousness and what is unchanging aspect of consciousness is what we understand. We wait for it.
What is the difference between the I am thought and the one it's pointing to?
I am thought appears and disappears, but what it is pointing to will never change. Existence. Huh?
I, only I.
That's a real I. No, that real I is existence also.
You're saying that two things are there. There is a I am and there is a I am thought.
Can you record it?
Oh no.
Okay.
Live streaming is.
Yeah. So hold the question now.
Is that what you were pointing to, like Saguna Brahma? That's what different names.
The moment I use the word consciousness, it's Saguna Brahma. The moment I use the word awareness, it's Nirguna Brahma. Parabrahma.
Yeah.
Classes are Monday to Friday, 10 to 12.
On Saturday, I take up here I don't take up sloka by sloka. On Saturday, I take a detailed sloka by sloka on the Mandukya Upanishad, Mandukya Karika.
That is open to all.
Yeah, everything is open here.
Saturday,
4 to 6. Were you able to hear or you missed what I said? Huh?
I listened.
Okay, what I said is the absolute reality is called pure awareness. Absolute awareness, which is knowing principle. So there, the knowing principle doesn't know itself because there's nothing to know. For something to know, it requires an obstruction, object. The moment object appears, it is becoming aware of itself. Right? Self-awareness develops. That self-awareness which develops is called Ishvara or Bhagavan. Okay? That is called first level of self-awareness. That's a feeling of, there's a self-awareness, I am, I exist, develops. I am. Not the words. Right? That I am sense develops. It's before the words, before the feeling. So that is called Ishvara. Now, why that Ishvara has come into picture? Because there is a feeling or there's a concept that there is world, there is something else. It's a concept, not reality. So the moment concept comes, the concept plus I am, the pure I am, is called Ishvara. Okay. I call it as universal consciousness. The universal consciousness I am starts creating multiple forms and enters into each form. In your heart means in your intellect, the Ishvara manifests as Chidabhasa, reflected consciousness. First level of reflection is in Maya, second level of reflection is in the intellect. That's why in Bhagavad Gita said, Ishvaro Sarvabhuta. You can speak. Ishvaro Sarvabhutanam Athadi Arjuna Tishtati. First, pure awareness manifests as universal consciousness Ishvara. Then it manifests as Chidavasa in each of living being. Okay. The I am feel, I am sense associated with Chidavasa. Start thinking that I am the body. Chidavasa is reflected consciousness. in essence, everything in the universe is consciousness. So absolute consciousness or awareness, universal consciousness, individual consciousness, the body consciousness, the mind consciousness, okay, the flower consciousness, the tree consciousness, the mountain consciousness, sky consciousness, everything is consciousness. That's why it's called Sarvam Khalu Brahma. All this is consciousness. Okay. Consciousness, the challenge with us is the consciousness cannot be seen. Consciousness is the knowing principle. Okay. And this knowing principle and existence principle can take a stand at various levels. It can stand at various levels. When that existence and consciousness principle takes a stand that I am body, that I am is there, right? Now that I am, which is self-awareness. The I am self-awareness you associate with the body. Okay. So then you take a stand. You means the awareness. The absolute reality takes a stand. I am the body. Okay. What do you do with the body? You see, oh, I see the fan. I see tree. The perception is there at the body level. You take the stand that I am perceiver. Okay. I am perceiver. It's only your stand. Okay. When you take a stand as I am body, because everything is consciousness, you can take a stand anywhere. Everything being conscious, you can take a stand anywhere. When you take a stand, I am body, you appear to be a solid entity. You appear to be an object. You associate yourself with an object called body. Okay. And then everything in the world appears like an object. Everything appears like a solid object. Correct? So that's why in temples, we give a form to the deity. Because I am associated with the form. The Ishvara also we associate with the form. Because at the form level, I am the form. And for me, everything appears as a form. Whatever stand I take.
Everything appears as an object. Is it because I'm associating with the body or because I'm seeing through the body?
No, when you are seeing to the body, you associate that you take the body as the knower. The knowing principle you are saying, I'm the knower. The knower has come to the body level now.
It's because of the association, not because of the instrument. Through this instrument, whatever I
No, now you don't know the instrument. No, you have taken already, you've forgotten that it's instrument.
Yeah.
And you have taken the stand there, right? For example, I'm wearing these glasses. The glass is instrument. I forgot I'm wearing glasses. Then when I read the book, I say I am reading because glasses have become part of me.
You are wearing red glasses, everything appears to be red.
Red.
So the appearance of red is because of the glasses, not because you are wearing the glasses. You are associated.
Yeah. But what happens is when I wear the glasses, I forgot that I'm wearing the glasses. Right?
Okay, forgetfulness is one thing.
Huh.
Association is second thing. Third thing is what kind of instrument you are wearing.
Correct. So the body is the instrument I'm wearing.
So everything appears as object.
It's appearing as object.
It's not because I'm associated with the body.
No. You have, see, there's nothing called association. No, everything is consciousness.
Okay.
Everything is a consciousness. The question is, in the consciousness, where you take a stand. You can take a stand as a body. Okay. The moment you take a stand as a body, for you, everything in the world appears as solid objects.
And if I take stand as a mind,
I'll tell you. Right? So now, everything for you appears as an object. That's why in temples we have the sculptures which are human-like. I have a form. Ishvara also has a form for me.
Easy to connect.
There's no other way. You cannot connect anything else. Right? So and when you are experiencing the world, you forget that you have taken a stand as body. That awareness principle, which is infinite, You have forgotten and you experience the world as a body. And I told you why you have to forget. Because unless you forget, your experience will not be full. If you go to a movie, okay, and keep thinking of that your homework, then you will not enjoy the movie. So there is a forgetfulness and experience. Even though Ishvara, even the Brahma, Parabrahma is experiencing. Parabrahma is appearing as body. You cannot separate out Parabrahma from any of this. It's a momentary or forgetfulness. That's called Vikshepa.
At every stand, there is a new I am thought. Is that what
No. It's the same I am. It gets associated with something else. Now let us take a little bit. You step back and you say, okay, at the physical level, it's Annamaya Kosha. You step back and start associating Pranamaya Kosha. The Pranamaya is energy body. Okay. So now you take a stand in the energy body. Now energy becomes the reality for you. Okay. So typically you are seeing this Reiki healers and pranic healers and all. They take a stand in the pranic body. For them, world looks almost like a pranic flow, energy flow. So they look at you, hey, your aura is changed, yeah? They look at the energy pattern. For them, energy becomes more reality, subtle reality. Understand? And at the physical level, body is solidified reality. At the energy level, it's a fluid reality. So they say, oh, you have a disease, I can heal it because it's energy level. It's not solidified reality. Your reality has shifted from the physical reality to energy level reality. At the energy level, everything seems to be a flow rather than solidified entity. The solidity what you have at the physical level starts reducing as you take a stand. You means the I am principle. I am principle I am speaking of. Okay, takes a stand that I am the energy body. That's called Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha. Now you step back into mental body, mind. Mind means thoughts. Mind, I am saying mind and intellect, everything put together. So thoughts. So now, for you, the everything is a thought. All right. What is world? Sun is a thought. Moon is a thought. River is a thought. Time is a thought. Now you have shifted from a physical level reality to a energy level reality to subtle, which is thought. So for you, the entire world is now thought. World is now thought forms. Understand? The world has no more solidity. It is only thought forms. No. I am seeing the world through sense organs. My dear, it's also a thought. I am peeping through sense organs is a thought. World is outside my body is a thought. My body is a thought. Right? I am angry. Is it not thought? Your emotion is a thought. I am feeling sad is a thought. I am feeling cold is a thought. So the entire world now shifts from a solid reality called physical body to a fluid reality called energy body to thought forms. Clear? So now from object consciousness, you have moved into energy consciousness, and from energy consciousness, you have moved into thought consciousness. So thought is of two types, an object thought and a subject thought. Object thought is the chair is there and I am seeing the chair. I thought is there and chair thought is there. Okay. So both are nothing but temporary modifications of consciousness. I thought is also a consciousness, thought in consciousness, and chair is also a thought in consciousness. A thought in consciousness is conscious only. Okay. So everything is consciousness in the reality. Then where is the question of Satya and Mithya comes into picture? The The essential nature of consciousness is called knowingness. Essential nature. Essential nature of consciousness is called existence, awareness, existence, and bliss. Okay. The functioning of the consciousness changes. Essential nature doesn't change, but functioning keeps changing.
So in that Chit Ananda, knowingness fits into which one?
Chit. Sat Chit Ananda never changes, but the functioning changes. A great film actor is there, great actor is there. Okay, he takes the role of a beggar, then he takes the role of a rich man, then he takes the role of a policeman, then he takes the role of a dacoit. His acting changes, his functioning changes, but he himself doesn't change. Okay, so the consciousness and functioning of the consciousness we have to distinguish. We should not mix up the consciousness and functioning of consciousness. The functioning of the consciousness happens through three qualities called sattva, rajas, and tamas. The functioning happens through three qualities. These are qualities of material nature. Functioning. The essential nature of consciousness is also three. What is that? Sat, Chit, Ananda. Essential nature of consciousness is called Sat, Chit, Ananda. Functioning of the consciousness through three qualities: Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Okay. Sattva-guna means knowing. Oh, you say Sat is also awareness is also knowing, and Sattva-guna is also knowing. What is the difference? When the consciousness takes the position of knowing the other, it becomes Sattva-guna. The consciousness becomes aware of the other is Sattva-guna. Functioning through Sattva-guna. Aware of other. There's nothing else. Nothing is there. By itself, it is awareness, Sat. But when it becomes aware of the other, it becomes Sattva. Okay? Awareness. Knowing of the other. Okay? So now knowing of the other, Sattva, is a functioning. Sattva functioning can stop. The actor can go home and rest. Okay? He can become a beggar, he can be a film, he can be hero, heroine, and he can go home and rest. Nothing happens to him. The hero role is gone. Villain role is gone. Understand? The role can change, the functioning can change, but the actor himself doesn't change. Similarly, the pure consciousness, pure awareness, Parabrahma, who is Sat Chit Ananda, whose nature is Sat, that never changes. The functioning of the consciousness changes. So we have to distinguish between the functioning of the consciousness and pure consciousness. Functioning of the Brahman with the functioning of the Brahman is called Prakriti. Kriti means doing. Prakriti means doing. You should separate from doing from the essential nature. Doing is not permanent. Doing changes. Doing changes. So now what you have taken the position? If you take the position as a body, world is solid. If you take it as the energy, the world is fluid. If you take the position as mind, world is thoughts. Now if you take as a position as consciousness, I am consciousness, then what is world? There's no world. There's no functioning now. It's pure awareness. It's like gold appears as